Beyond the eyeing up stage, we come to the next phase of the human courtship sequence, the pickup. How do people break the ice? Well, a useful device is the cultivation of the lucky accident. Some irrelevant, completely non-sexual factor, like exercising the dog, is introduced into the equation. The individuals involved are not actively seeking a partner, that would be too obvious. Instead, they're engaged in a common pursuit, which just happens to bring them together. More formal meetings between young people offer an opportunity to parade, eye up, display, and pick up all at the same time. These young Maasai males show off their prowess by leaping up and down in their vertical dance. They're watched discerningly by the young girls of the village who, even at this tender age, are already deeply involved in the exciting business of mate selection. The hair flick signals the interest of a male in a particular female. All around the world, new connections are being made, new links are being forged, as friendly words take over from shy glances. We've arrived at the chat-up. This is the information exchange phase in which people find out as much as possible about one another's backgrounds, their likes and dislikes. This reciprocal detective work may take some time, but it's a vitally important process when embarking on a long-term breeding partnership. In this particular region of modern China, the young men and women have a traditional way for overcoming the greatest problem of the chat-up, shyness. Instead of simply mingling and chatting, they keep apart and sing their conversation from one group to another. They might sing about their personal skills or bravery, which can cause a lot of amusement. And the reply might be about property, the number of tractors in their village, for instance. In the bars of Los Angeles, the chat-up technique, like the clothing, is much more casual, but it works well enough.
Jorge. Farima. Sarah. So you live here long? Too long?
Too long.
11.
Here, contact has been made and personal involvement has begun. Now, talking becomes the key activity.
Have you ever floated in the Red Sea? Ever floated in the Red Sea?
Any inconsequential chatter keeps the conversation going while the opportunity is taken to slip in important questions. What's the other's marital status? What is his or her job? In other words, apart from looks, what extra benefits could each bring with them to a relationship?
Is that right?
Having received sufficient encouragement, he can now move in closer and is rewarded with the first bodily contact.
I'm happy. My back doesn't hurt anymore. Have another beer.
The problem now is to get rid of one of his new companions so that he can end up in a twosome. But this time he fails, and they both say goodbye. Perhaps next time. It's not easy finding the ideal partner, and there'll be many false starts before the blend is right. But once it is, we see a whole new phase developing, characterized surprisingly by what appears to be a return to infancy. Couples cuddle and caress one another. call each other silly names, talk in high-pitched voices, and even rock together in one another's arms. This is the stage we usually refer to as falling in love.
Dave loves Sue. Joe loves Kim. Love. What is love?
Perhaps it's just a polite word for sex, a romantic way of describing sexual attraction. Well, no, it isn't. It's much more than that. Love is a basic biological mechanism, and it has a very specific function. The first time we encounter love is as tiny babies. This is the age of total security, protection, and trust. But even at this early stage, another urge is beginning to express itself, the urge to strike out on one's own. And the process of growing up is the process of this new urge gradually asserting itself as the need for maternal protection grows weaker. When the infant becomes a teenager, the urge for independence gains the upper hand, and the bond between parent and child starts to collapse. Eventually, in what turns out to be a more traumatic event than either parent or teenager had expected, comes the moment of first true separation. Here, the first day at college churns up the emotions as one long-term love bond slips into the past tense, and the prospects of a brand new one are about to appear on the horizon. It's an intriguing fact that for a new couple, the first evening out together usually involves food and drink. We tend to take this for granted, but there may be a special, deeper reason. It's almost as if, as with many bird species, humans indulge in courtship feeding. A hidden camera catches this couple at the very start of just such a dinner date. As the meal progresses, their growing intimacy happens as we watch. They start smiling and leaning forward, not taking their eyes off one another. Now the first touch, leading to a gentle hand kiss. And now, like two parents with small infants, they each spoon-feed the other. Finally, again like courting birds, a gift is offered. The encounter comes to an end. In this familiar event, we are in reality seeing not only pseudo-parental feeding, but also the reenactment of a primeval exchange deeply embedded in our species after 1,000,000 years as hunter-gatherers. Food sharing, which in primeval times was the very basis of human society. As the sexual attachment of the couple increases, we see them displaying a variety of what are called tie signs. These are forms of body contact that tell other people that an exclusive pair is forming.